The confirmed part is simple. Netflix is buying the studio and its streaming assets.
No. Wait. Wait.
While the traditional cable network, mostly from the Discovery side, are being spun off separately. That means Netflix isn't buying CNN, Discovery Channel, or the Food Network. They're taking the heavy hitters, obviously, the movies, shows, franchises, and as I just said prior, the content libraries, which, includes other movie IPs that big ones, the things that actually shape our culture today. And honestly, that's exactly what worries me. Because Netflix isn't some small creative boutique studio. It's the biggest streaming giant in the world. And now it's grabbing one of the oldest, most influential film studios.
He's out of line, but he's right.
When one company starts owning this much content, you can't pretend it's not going to affect the direction of storytelling, or the budget, or priorities.
He's got a point.
And even the long-term risk-taking of the entire industry. Netflix simply does not work the same way Warner Brothers historically has. WB used to invest in long-term franchises, cinematic world-building, slow burn series, and actual legacy entertainment. Netflix, on the other hand, is infamous for throwing hundreds of shows at the wall, watching the algorithm decide which ones live or die, and then canceling half of them before the audience even gets attached. They have no problem axing a show after 1 or 2 seasons, even if fans love it, simply because the metrics dip a little. And that's exactly the mindset I fear being injected into DC, Harry Potter, and literally every other WB property now under their control. Think about DC alone. Every time the universe tries to stabilize, some executive reshuffle nukes it. Now imagine DC in the hands of a company that loves reboots, quick turnarounds, and resetting things whenever the numbers dip. People think they're tired of superhero fatigue now. Wait until Netflix starts rolling out 3 different versions of Batman in 5 years because they want to experiment. Same for Harry Potter. People complain about Fantastic Beasts being messy, but at least it still felt like a Warner Brothers production, meaning there was legacy, respect for the lore to some extent, and a certain continuity to the tone. Netflix has shown time and time again that they aren't afraid to drastically reinterpret existing worlds to appeal to new demographics or global viewership.
But why?
And hey, reinterpretation isn't always bad, but when you own this much IP, that kind of experimental mindset can reshape entire franchises permanently. They could decide to age up characters, change the tone, or the pacing, just restructure the whole freaking universe, or push messaging that previous eras of the franchise never had. You can already imagine Netflix saying something down the line of, "We're doing a gritty modern reboot of Harry Potter with dark social commentary." Or something like, "We are reinventing DC for a TikTok generation." There is nothing stopping them now. But beyond the creative side, there's the financial reality nobody wants to admit. Netflix reportedly shelled out around $83 billion for this deal. Let me put that bluntly. No company spends $83 billion out of charity. You and I are going to pay for that. The subscription cost is going up. Maybe slowly, maybe with some nice corporate PR packaging, maybe with words like premium tier enhancements, but it is going up. Netflix has already raised prices multiple times without adding anything close to this scale. Imagine what they're going to do now that they hold half of Hollywood's most valuable IP library. And that's not even the worst part. When you combine massive debt spending with massive IP consolidation, companies usually try to cut expenses somewhere. That often means fewer experimental projects, fewer risky films, and fewer mid-budget productions. All things Warner Brothers used to champion. Those classic films from the 90s and 2000s that didn't need to be blockbusters but still became cultural icons. Those will be the first casualties because Netflix only cares about global performance data and fast turnaround. And then there's the diversity problem. Not diversity in the social sense. Diversity in the entertainment ecosystem. When fewer studios control more content, the entire industry becomes creatively narrower. Imagine a world where your choices are basically Netflix-style content. That's the direction we're moving toward. People always complain that modern entertainment feels copy-paste and algorithm-driven. Well, guess what? Consolidating massive IP libraries under a single company that is infamous for using algorithm optimization as a creative compass is going to accelerate that problem and not fix it. You know, studios used to compete. They used to respond to each other. One studio would make a bold project. Another one would respond with something even bolder. Now, Netflix can just steamroll the landscape and say, well, we own everything, so you get what we give you.
Fuck.
And this is why I keep saying Apple TV would have been a better buyer. Apple has shown through their originals, Foundation for All Mankind, Severance, Pluribus that came out recently, that they are willing to invest in quality and let shows breathe. They aren't canceling everything after 2 seasons. They aren't obsessed with immediate profit spikes. They don't drown their platform in disposable content. They are old school in the best way. Quality first, trend second.
Nice.
If Apple had brought WB Studio Division, I'd worry way less about the long-term health of DC, Harry Potter, and everything else. But Netflix buying it? That's like giving your grandpa's classic muscle car to a teenager who only drives it to impress people on Instagram. Sure, they might take care of it, but odds are they're going to mod the hell out of it, repaint it neon, slap a turbo on it, and drive it until the engine blows. And beyond everything else, this deal signals something more global, the death of old Hollywood as we know it. Warner Brothers was one of the last classic giants, the kind of studio that shaped cinema history. Now it is being absorbed into a modern tech-driven streaming machine whose priority is engagement metrics, not legacy. Some people will say, that's just how the world works now. But honestly, losing the creative identity of a studio that shaped generations of film is not something we should shrug off. And again, I'm not saying Netflix is evil. I'm saying Netflix has a very specific way of operating, and they have the keys to a kingdom and they used to thrive under a completely different philosophy. Whether they respect the legacy or strip mine it for content is a question we're all going to find out the hard way. So no, I'm not cheering on this deal. It's not just another merger. It's a massive turning point.
Oh my god!
And from where I'm standing, it looks like the beginning of a hyper-commercialized, algorithm-driven entertainment landscape where creativity, risk-taking, and world-building all take a back seat to spreadsheets, global averages, and subscription metrics. And that's the last thing fans or storytelling needs right now.